So say the crew of the Enterprise came back with the whales into the present, or their present, since time is relative. But instead of coming in when the big tube ship was there, they dropped the whales off before the thing even got there, thus preventing the entire crisis.
Okay.
So that would mean that there would be whales on Earth, and the tube ship wouldn't even be bothered looking for them.
Right.
But that would mean that the Enterprise crew would have no reason to travel back in time in the first place, therefore meaning that they never got the whales, which means that there wouldn't be any whales on Earth when the tube ship gets there, because no one went back in time. It's a total paradox.
Time travel makes my brain hurt.
Here, try 2 of these.
Who is this doctor person, and what is she giving me?
They're called Timelonel and will cure all your time travel brain pain. Now in cherry flavor.
We now return to Time Enough for Love. It is the year 2247. Ted Stevens, a mild-mannered male prostitute, stumbles into a vat of toxic waste that gives him the powers to travel through time. Now, with the help of his trusty receptionist, Vince, Ted answers the call of ladies in need of gentlemen's company throughout history. Ted Stevens, Time Gigolo, where reaching your climax is just a matter of time. How can we help you?
Yes, my name is Winifred Jones, and I would like to hire Mr. Stevens.
Excellent. What time would you like to have Ted visit you?
December 2nd, 2200. The winter nights here get so cold.
Got it. Ted, you've got a new customer.
Good work, Vince. I'll leave at once. Upon a time. It is I, Ted Stevens, Time Gigolo. I understand it's time to cure some hornies. May I be of assistance?
Please do.
Ted, it's Vince. We've got a problem. That woman is your grandmother.
Well, that might be a problem to some rookie time traveler, but I'm a professional. No matter what woman has a need for Ted Stevens will be there. Ted Stevens doesn't judge or let personal preferences get in the way of his duties.
That's gross, sir. You get your dirty hands off my wife! I've got babies to make with her that will one day have children of their own who will in no way have anything to do with what is happening right this second!
You shot him! You shot my husband!
Son of a bitch bastard was coming at me all aggro. Now back to business. Nom nom nom. Brrr.
By killing his grandfather in the past, did Ted create a time paradox? Is the fabric of space and time about to collapse? Is Ted his own grandfather? If so, is there some weird inbred gene thing problem going on? Find out next week on whatever other podcast wants to take over this time travel story business. I'm done with it. Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. This is the podcast for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. There's some people that love stuff. I don't know. I may have been drinking them.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had some whiskeys. My name is Justin. I've got Sam and Jackie here. How are you guys?
I'm good.
That's
good.
solid. Not as drunk as I am, apparently.
No, I didn't drink anything yet.
Yeah.
I had some Alka-Seltzer because my back hurts so bad, it's given me a stomach ache.
Any type of flavor to report on the Alka-Seltzer?
Delicious.
It's just plain Alka-Seltzer delicious to you?
Yeah, I've acquired a taste for it.
Is it the bubbles?
No, it's that I know that it's going to do something positive.
Oh, so
like,
it's not delicious. It's just your brain is
my
playing
brain
tricks
is
on your tongue.
telling me that it's delicious because it knows what's going to happen.
I understand.
Yeah.
Jackie, what are you drinking?
I've got vodka tonic.
Nice.
Ah.
Nice. The old standby, huh?
Yes.
Nothing unusual for you. I decided to take an oddball today.
Oh.
I bought Wild Turkey because it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
And vanilla Coke. So I'm doing vanilla bourbons, which are okay.
Seems to be going okay.
Yeah, I've had like 3 or 4.
All right.
Tall
So
boys.
Heinlein's pissed.
Heinlein is pissed.
Yeah, at the commercial, if you call it that.
Yeah.
You referenced Heinlein, and then you stole the plot of Time Rider without paying any heed to it.
With Fred Ward.
I have to put that out there that you basically took the entire plot line of Time Rider, and you didn't even mention Time Rider at all.
And then I seasoned it with a nice layer of Fred Garvin, male prostitute. Yeah. The fun,
you got to at least mention Time Rider.
The fun thing about me in my writing is that I have no original jokes. None.
Yeah.
They're all just old Seinfeld jokes.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically, stolen from science fiction plots. I've got news.
Oh?
An update. The Mystery Science Theater 3000 Kickstarter. 21 days to go. Would anybody care to venture a guess?
3.1 million.
3.1, Jackie?
2.6.
2.39.
Oh, didn't they only need 2?
They only were asking for 2, so
good, I
there
guess.
will be new Mystery
People are
Science
getting
3.
bonuses now.
Unless Joel flakes on it, which it does happen on Kickstarter, but and there's no, you're donating to Kickstarter. There's no financial obligation. If they just take your money and are like, well, see ya, thanks for the $2 million.
Mexico.
There's no legal
Recourse.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that they'll probably get it put together. So there you go. You can still donate and still get your name tossed in. Some free swag if you want, but I'm not going to. Fans, we want to hear from you, and so we're giving you a task. Send us a story from back in the day of VHS tapes. Did you have an interesting story about renting one? Did you mistakenly record an episode of Transformers over your father's video presentation? What about good old porn mishaps? We want to hear it. Send us an email to talk@sneakermadness.com, and the best stories we get will be read on the air.
Like getting your wiener stuck in the VCR.
Oh, God, that's a bad one. Did you do that?
No.
Oh.
I could imagine, though.
My worst was...
You thought those ladies were really in there?
There's little ladies doing it. I'm going to do
if
them.
I put my wiener in there, I might get some action.
My worst was I rented Orgy of the Damned.
Which is not sexy.
From Ed Wood.
Yeah.
I ended up... That movie cost me 6 collection accounts.
Yeah.
And a couple $1,000.
Oh, I ended up...
I could have paid Ed Wood $2,000 and owned the rights to fucking
You would have
Orgy
been
of
the
the
executive producer of that movie.
Actually, it's Orgy of the Dead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think that America 3000 cost me $45.
I would pay $45 for America 3000. I think that's a fair deal.
I kept it, and I went to the counter, and I was like, yeah, that movie I rented, I'm keeping it. They were like, what? I mean, is it broken? And I was like, sure, it's broken. That's it. How much do I owe you? Well, you can't just keep it. No, it's broken. And it was some rough negotiations, but $45 later, I owned America 3000 on VHS.
Jackie, do you have a good VHS tape story?
I actually worked at Hastings Entertainment when they still had VHS tapes.
If you're unfamiliar with Hastings, is a Northwest video... it's an entertainment superstore.
Superstore.
Yeah, they've got CDs and DVDs and books and
their own jingle.
Yeah.
Your entertainment superstore.
It's only in Boise and Portland and Salt Lake, I think.
It's in California, too.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, so I used to work there. So I used to... My best ones are when you work the morning shift at a Hastings. Right when you open up.
Is that 10?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Morning.
Well, you work at a video store. You're probably hungover.
Yeah.
Ready to smoke some pot in the bathroom.
Yeah. So I'm working at this video store, and this guy comes through with a stack of VHS tapes. And he comes right when we open. And he is kind of walking around, making sure nobody's up towards the front. He has rented 10 pornographic videos.
Nice.
And the Hastings pornos
was it Sam?
And he had 3 naughty magazines.
That guy's got a lot of jerking to do.
And so the Hastings pornos, though, were not full on.
Yes, they were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they have a little
section.
private section.
Yeah, they have, but they were Playboy.
No. There's the softcore, and then there's the hardcore.
I never saw hardcore
really
stuff.
into the back corner.
Because I had to do that thing where I went to Video Memories and went into the back room.
Mm-hmm.
And you come out of the back room with a bag that's got a smiley face on it. Why don't they just fucking play a song for you and put you in a sombrero and go, this guy's gonna whack it later? I mean, because it's oh yeah, privacy.
Give him an
hour. It's a bag with a smiley face on it, and you just came from the back room. Ridiculous.
He's not going to be in there for very long, judging this one by his appearance.
Well, no, you don't go in there. No, you just go in there to get the porn. You rent it and then leave. You're not jacking off in the back.
Well, you never know.
Well, they have places like that. I just don't go there.
Anyway, send us your VHS tape stories, and good ones we'll read on the air. I've got so many VHS tape stories. It's ridiculous.
Biggles is a VHS story. This week's episode,
Gatorbait was a VHS story.
Yeah.
We'll tell more of those later. We got to move on to streaming do's and don'ts. Starting out with last week's flop, The Messenger on Amazon Prime.
Ugh.
With Fred Williamson and Cameron Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell.
They should have shot the messenger right in the fucking head in
What?
the first
I
30
love The
minutes of the
Messenger.
movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was bored.
Were you?
I was.
I mean, he couldn't have added any tits or explosions. I think he rounded those bases pretty nicely. How did you get bored?
Yeah, dude, the tits were like within the first 30 seconds
were
of the movie.
throughout
The
whole
party
movie.
scene was fucking ridiculous. Like, hey, how about some of these, big boy? And Fred Williamson's like, yeah, whatever, lady. Like, he's like staring hard at him. But, and then the sex scene. The tits in the sex scene, like,
Yeah.
I'm the director. I'm going to have to honk those boobs, just so you know.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Like, he
We gotta-
directs himself to get many
He
handfuls
gets
of...
mouthfuls.
Yes, he does.
He's probably had sex with that woman.
Yes,
just-
I think he did.
Yeah.
But
Or,
if they were going to have sex, then she wanted a song all about her.
Yeah, she gets her own song.
Yeah, and it's got her character's name in it, and it just says Sabrina over and over and
Yeah,
over
Sabrina.
again.
Introducing somebody as Sabrina in the
Yeah.
credits. But, yeah, I thought it was fucking nanners.
I loved it.
I thought it
The
was great
part,
as well.
they're like some of the standout moments where when he rescues the farmhand lady
Oh,
from
yeah.
her daily rapings.
Her daily
And then the
rapings.
guy that usually rapes her shows up with a shotgun and just shoots the fucking waiter.
Yeah, and then she's
shoots
dead.
her. And then the cop shows up and shoots him. And they're like, what are you doing here? And he's like, nothing.
Maybe you need to look into a different lifestyle,
Yeah.
Craig, the messenger guy. I think it was 2 movies.
I don't think it was. I think that
Yeah.
Fred Williamson, I think that that's what you get early on in his directorial career.
This was in 1986.
in his directorial career. He didn't direct them
I
until
thought he
like
directed all those
I thought
70s shit.
Black Cobra was the first one that he directed in 83 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I enjoyed The Messenger. It was a little long. I thought it could have used a little bit of scissors, but there was it's everything that you could ask for.
Yes.
Gratuitous nudity, over the top action,
Cars exploding by gunshot.
stupid gunshot car explosions. Like the one where he pulls out the 2 Uzis and just starts spraying lead all over the
Yeah.
place. The cars are parked facing him. The only thing he has access to shoot is the headlights, and then they explode.
Yeah.
And they kill all the guys who have dove away from them. Like, he just walks off because they're apparently all fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like, the editing in this movie is atrociously bad.
I don't know that the editing is like when you leave heads and tails like that, there's nothing that can be done.
I just was confused the whole time. It was like when, like we were talking about when the farmhand girl got shot, because the gunman fires one shotgun shot. You see the waiter get hit in the back, and then Fred Williamson kills him, and then goes over to the farmhand girl, and she's fucking dead. How
Yeah.
the fuck did she die?
She just got like it was the magic bullet.
She shot first.
Yeah.
It's her fault.
Was it, what joke was that? JFK shot first. Was that?
That was in Pixels.
Oh, that was in Pixels.
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
story for another time. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I'm really surprised you didn't like it, because we talked about it for like 30 minutes after watching it, Jackie.
I just wasn't that impressed.
All right.
All right.
Pass.
I'm gonna give it a do.
Solid do.
Yeah, that's 2 out of 3. You last week you asked for 3 out of 3, but apparently you're not gonna get it.
I'm not going to get it.
This time, Jackie doesn't get a say because she didn't watch this film. Continuing on with the Shaw Brothers business, The Masked Avengers on Netflix. As I said, Shaw Brothers.
I kind of had a hard time with the Masked Avengers.
I'm gonna give it a do not as
Yeah.
well. I thought it was in the same wheelhouse of, wow, there's not a whole lot going on in this film.
There's not a lot going on.
No, there's enough. Now that, like,
There's enough. I mean, the thing is that I can't say don't watch a Shaw Brothers movie. You can always watch a Shaw Brothers movie. For a Shaw Brothers movie, this one's a little dry.
the scenes where they're like getting tortured, there's so much torture in this movie that
Lot of
makes
torture.
no fucking sense. Like, it's the dumbest torture that's ever existed. I really liked those scenes, not because it's like, oh, those are torturous, but because they were so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, that's not torture. This is that guy is dead. You've killed that guy. He can't now give you any information. You
No.
are the worst torturer that has ever lived. And we should put him inside a sarcophagus that has legs and arms that we can control, because that's not fucking... How long did it take you to build that?
Yeah, it's like, so, 80s contemporary torture would be like putting a man in a car crusher, crushing him, and then throwing the crushed car in the ocean, and then turning to the other guy and going, find out what he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he knows anything anymore.
Hey, Steve, maybe we should just try the Chinese water torture thing next time.
Did you just think about maybe he's kind of a sissy and you ask him and he just tells you?
Bag of socks?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or socks?
Bag of socks.
Oh, no, not the bag of socks
Not
torture.
the
socks filled with soap, I mean. You know that shit. The old blanket
The bag
party.
is made out of sandpaper, though.
It's a very harsh bag.
Harsh bag of socks.
Yeah, I'm kind of, now that I remember all that shit and how stupid it was, I kind of am split with this, but I got to give it a do or a do not, so I'm going to stick with my original series thing and just say don't.
Don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I still think that I gave it a soft do. Just because I think you can always watch one of those movies.
It's a semi.
It's a semi, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't one of my favorite Shaw Brothers movies, it was about what you get.
It was a decent Sunday or Saturday afternoon film. This is not a decent Saturday afternoon film.
This is a fucking future episode.
Is amazing shit. Men of War on Hulu Plus, starring Dolph Lundgren.
Did you go back and watch this week, Jackie?
No.
You should have done that.
You should have done that. We were very
awesome.
busy though. Yeah, Men of War. Wow.
Sounds sexy.
It's fucking serious.
It was something. There's it's again
Swedish like me.
How did we define it when we were talking about it? It was like they just gave up on making a good movie halfway and said, you know what, fuck it, let's just go for shit.
Fuck it, let's just go for shit.
Let's just call Dominic Toretto and hit the gas pedal because we're ready for some stupid shit to happen in this film.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is some serious stupid shit. Holy cow. This is everything you want in a Lundgren movie. If Lundgren had just done this the whole time...
Oh, man, he'd be a king.
He would be a fucking king. Like, you would look at Stallone and be like, huh.
Fuck that guy.
Nice try, Stallone. I'm on Lundgren's camp, which I'm still on Lundgren's camp, but there's those middle-of-the-road movies that are like that streak of the 90s that's just so dry and boring.
Yeah.
Like,
well, this was one of the 90s movies.
I know, and it's like a sneak attack where you're like, what the fuck is this shit? There's like a Apocalypse Now element to it, and
when they take some of the explosions from the movie, they
borrowed
borrowed an explosion from Platoon as well.
Yeah,
and then they stretched it out like, oh, if we stretch it out, nobody will notice that we just fucking stole this.
Yeah. There's Lundgren. My absolutely favorite part, and I'm not going to spoil too much, is Lundgren gets a Swedish-made rocket launcher, which he's, as we all know, quite Swedish.
Yeah, and he says it's Swedish like me about several things during the movie.
Yeah, and this rocket launcher works in completely the opposite way you would expect it to work.
Yes.
The back end of it is much more effective than the front end. Men get exploded by the front end, and there's shots of them, like the building that they're standing in, getting completely blown up.
Yeah.
But then later, they're in the film.
And they've just got some burns.
Yeah, they're just, wow, that's a hot rocket launcher.
It's hot.
It's toasty.
It's a third-degree burn gun.
It's great. A man takes a hatchet to the face, and it just breaks on his head. Oh, my God, this movie... I don't want to talk about it too much. Just go watch it because...
Oh, it's going to be
I think this is a total pick. This is a great undiscovered bad movie.
Going to pull the trigger on it.
Does he have a Swiss Army knife?
He does not.
No.
He
just got that rocket
Swiss
launcher.
Vodka.
He's got Swiss vodka and Swiss rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Why have anything else? Last but not least, also on Hulu Plus, one Albert Pyong movie, The Nemesis. Actually, it's just Nemesis.
Nemesis, yeah.
With that French ass kicker that's not very good at acting. What's the,
Oliver Gruner?
Was it Oliver Gruner?
Yeah.
Or Gruner?
Oliver Gruner.
Okay. This guy stinks at acting.
Yeah.
You know what he doesn't stink at?
Kicking people's
fucking
asses.
Kicking people's asses. Holy shit, this man is a fucking hero of Earth. Like when the aliens of Roland Emmerich show up, fuck Will Smith, dude. Welcome to Earth bullshit. This guy will fucking drop kick their spaceship back to their home planet.
Yep.
Fucking Nanners. He was a French commando.
And a kickboxing champion.
And who is a French commando? And that's like...
No, it's like when he retired from killing people, he retired from killing people into beating them up.
I gotta still do something,
It's
right?
like, I'm too old to be killing so many people. I'm just going to beat the shit out of them for a
Because see,
while.
here's the thing about the French commandos, is everybody talks about the French army and like,
Yeah.
oh, white flag, we surrender.
No, the single operator, the French are the best in the world.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Those guys are deadly, deadly bastards.
Yep.
And then he's a fucking kickboxing champion.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme can't say he's a kickboxing
No.
champion.
Like, with that, if he was the single operator for the French special forces, he's basically like Rambo is a pussy compared to this guy in real life.
Wow.
However-
I gotta watch this now.
Yeah, Nemesis.
He gets his butt out, I think. Oh, no, Tom Jane gets his butt out.
Tom Jane gets his butt out.
Man
yeah.
buns,
young,
yeah.
young Tom Jane.
Yeah. And there was nude Miss America.
Yep.
Ex-Miss America.
Tim Thomerson shows up.
Tim Thomer. Oh,
And Brian James. Tim Thomerson and Brian
Thomerson's
James were
robot. The fucking stop motion shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Woo-woo.
boy. Nemesis. I have no idea what this film was about. Like
well,
none.
that which makes it the perfect sequel to Cyborg.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know what Cyborg's about.
A
and it has the
guy
same ending.
with some stuff.
Yeah, and I feel exactly the same way. I when we were walking down to the brewery afterwards, I was like, I reluctantly like that movie. It's like it's a do, but it's a barely.
I kind of really enjoyed Nemesis.
And like 2 days later, that jungle scene is fucking awesome.
And the hotel shootout
the hotel shootout's good too.
is pretty rad.
It's just the first 20 minutes are a little
because it's just like exposition of stuff that you're like, I have no idea what these people are fucking talking about.
Yeah, and
There's
it
like
is. It's all
a
backstory.
fucking plague and just vague things that aren't really clarified as to what the characters' motivations are. Like, well, because of the plague that happened 60 years ago, I've got to now go over and stand here, and it's going to take 20 minutes. What? Huh? Oh, and there's a lady that's going to get involved. It's just nothing important or interesting is going on during the first 20 minutes because it's setting up this universe that I don't know what is.
which is not getting finished yet, because I think he was talking about trying to cap off the Cyborg and Nemesis series with one movie. And I've been I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I keep track of some of the goings on with it, and it's currently in production. It's called now, and it's not the Cap because he had to change it in order to get it made, and it's called, it was Galactic Commandos, but now I think it's Space Rangers and the Cyborg Witch of Endor. Is the name, is the working title. It's going to be something else when it comes out, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
there's another one in the series, which I think is like 10 now.
Damn.
I am still part of this podcast.
Yes,
well,
you are.
you should watch more
You should
movies
watch
on
the
Saturdays instead of watching Rain all day in your closet room.
I work.
On
on-
Saturdays?
We watched three
You
movies.
were watching... You
The
were
last
watching,
three movies we
I
watched
was
on
watching
Saturday.
snooty British
Yeah.
shows, damn
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
It's
you were
true.
watching snooty British shows in your office.
Oh, it was so awesome, too.
Oh.
It was so awesome. We won't even talk about how awesome it was. If you
No,
haven't
'cause
started
we'll have-
watching this show about Mary Queen of Scots,
Oh, that's,
you should probably give it a try. If you like snooty British shit,
Yeah.
I like it.
If you like the Tudors, you'd probably like Rain.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
If you don't like tits and explosions,
There's no tits in this movie.
or explosions,
Oh.
Because I think it's on the CW or something.
WB what is it now? CW, WB?
You know what? We can give speaking of
Oh,
television, we
yeah,
can give a
shit,
do
man.
not to,
A resounding and scalding review of The Flash.
even though it is shit. It is
Oh.
bad television. It is awful.
It is unviewable.
Yeah, I can't watch it. Oh, man. I'm glad I was drunk for that shit. Anyways, we got to move on. Sam, what have you brought this week since it's your movie?
Thermal invisibility.
Thermal invisibility for the great superpower debate.
Yes.
Can you define thermal invisibility?
Well, the Predator
Even though
can't
you're
find
still
you.
visible to the light spectrum, you give off no heat signature.
Yeah,
Mm.
so Predator cannot find you.
Predator could not see you. Neither could most mandroids.
Motion sensors.
Motion sensors.
Yeah, heat sensors,
Yeah.
heat sinking missile. You would be totally okay.
Again, but I'm steering this though.
Okay. All right.
'Cause it's-
You have more caveats.
Well, no, I mean it's totally something that would lend itself to nefarious behavior rather than good. You would be an expert thief with
Okay.
this superpower.
Why not just go all invisible?
Well, that I don't know. That's easy.
Hmm.
I thought we were trying to come up with weird ones.
Well, thermal invisibility is a weird one.
And you would be a master thief if you could do it.
Either that, or you'd be a sweet kick-ass like spy.
I know.
Yeah.
Why do you say
You could totally
master
get
thief? A lot of places have like visible light spectrum cameras.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're not gonna. They'll see you afterwards, but you're not gonna trip the alarm.
You know who couldn't kill you though? Schwa's in Eraser. Yeah, that gun is heat signature.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's right.
rail gun.
That
Yeah,
gun
you
was
could not
so
get
stupid.
hit by a rail gun in the face.
I saw the-
You could still get eaten by crocodiles that look like shit.
Yeah, the crocodiles were not good.
They don't see in heat vision.
No,
They're not they are predators, but not the predator.
even in heat vision, they would look
Predator
like shit.
versus a crocodile. Predator.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
crocodiles.
that's pretty
don't
stupid.
have guns.
Okay, thermal invisibility. So you're saying you use your powers for nefarious purposes. Now, where are you going to go with to use this for evil?
The bank.
The bank. So if you're saying by your own human condition that if you had thermal invisibility, you would be a bank robber.
And it wouldn't be like the local branch, so you'd have to it'd be big time heist.
No tomfoolery, you would rob banks. That is what your job would be. You would do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's very limited other avenues.
I would get a job as a pretend vampire.
A pretend vampire.
Yeah, because then you'd be like, I'm so cold as death.
I
You
don't.
won't even pick me up
you
on
could-
the
And then
heat
somebody
radar.
would hold a mirror up to you and be like, shit.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, you son of a bitch, get that on my face.
Pretty crappy Halloween costume.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, well, get out your heat ray sensitivity
I call
gun.
bullshit. You're not going to fucking rob any banks, dude.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what else? You could be like a
That-
spy, I guess.
That's part of the rules is you have to you have to use this superpower as you, the bringer of the superpower.
I would rob banks. That's what I would
you
do.
would rob banks.
Yeah.
Sam, the sandwich man, would rob banks.
Once I figured, you have to do some legwork. You'd have to develop the other skills involved with being a master thief, but you'd have one thing that no one else could do.
I think this sounds like a pretty shitty superpower.
I'm not really seeing a whole lot of...
Yeah, at the same time, it hasn't fucking destroyed itself yet, whereas last week's super hearing was, not good because you go deaf immediately.
I think it's destroyed itself quite well. You would take one step into a bank and get fucking arrested.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that one camera wouldn't get to see... I don't even know why banks would have these night vision cameras. Or
It's not
these
the night
thermal...
vision, thermal sensors.
Unless the fucking eraser's there with his railgun. You can dodge the predator. You can dodge fucking those smart bomb jobbers that are blowing up the terrorists and stuff. But that's about it.
You could hide from the heat vision.
If you're just a regular schmo, this power does nothing for you. You probably wouldn't even know that you have it.
I might have thermal invisibility
You
right
might
now.
have it.
I don't know.
Jackie.
Kind of worthless.
Yeah,
All right.
I give this one worse than super hearing. I'm
Okay.
going to give this.
Now, I'm going to give
Okay.
it better than super hearing because,
You don't go deaf immediately.
yeah, and if I'm ever in the jungle with the predator, I really, really, really want to have this superpower.
You're probably not. That's
You're
probably not
invisible
going to
to
happen.
him, yeah.
That's probably not going to happen. So
I'm going with, out of the two so far, I'm going with thermal invincibility.
okay, Sam, do you have any final arguments for it?
If there was an alien invasion, you would be and they saw thermal
Uh-huh.
signatures instead of
That's a
light
stretch.
spectrum. Just saying.
Yeah, lots of ifs in
There's
the
a lot of ifs.
superpower. Whereas with super hearing,
With super hearing, if you weren't deaf from it,
yeah, but you
it
had
would
that
be
one
awesome.
sweet moment where you're like, "Fuck, I heard somebody taking a dump upstairs," which isn't awesome.
and then a dog barked and I was deaf forever.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty shitty. If you guys I'm gonna tie it though. I give this one a 2.
A 2?
Yeah, Jackie.
3.
3.
3.
Ooh, it is higher than it's better than super hearing.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Sam, tell us about Biggles' Adventure in Time.
It was made in 1986, and we should start with the character Biggles. James
Who is a
Bigglesworth.
large, fluffy cat.
Biggles is not a fluffy cat.
Damn.
There's a cat named Pickles, I bet.
Oh,
bet
there's
Pickles-
Biggles cat?
I bet Pickles the cat has adventures, but
Ah.
not adventures in time. James Bigglesworth, or Biggles, the title character and hero in the eponymous series of books by W.E. Johns.
Hmm.
Biggles is sort of a flying Indiana Jones.
Okay. Wait, he can actually fly?
No, he flies airplanes.
Oh, okay, sure.
yeah.
Sure. Okay,
I think
gotcha.
Indiana flies airplanes.
No,
though, too.
no, he gets piloted. There's a big fucking snake. Why did it have to be snakes?
Oh, that's right. In Last Crusade, he's not flying that plane? Who's flying the plane?
No, he is flying
He's
that
flying
fucking
the fucking plane.
Why would he fly the
I don't
fucking
fucking
plane
know.
in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Because
Why would he
he's-
have that fucking
Yeah, I don't know.
pilot if he can just fly planes? You know what he can do or can't do? Land. Which I guess if you're a pilot,
Yeah,
anybody
it's
can
landing
fly a
is-
fucking
yeah.
plane. Landing's the problem. So maybe that's it. He's like Launchpad McQuack.
Well, W.E. Johns himself was an airman in the First World War, or the Great War as it was then known. It would seem he puts a lot of himself into the Biggles character, however, never stating that there was an autobiographic quality to the tales. Churchill should have taken a note.
That's too soon, man.
Too soon?
Too fucking soon, dude.
Some of the Churchill writing is outlandish.
That man shot Hitler in the face, and then Captain America punched him right in the jaw.
He jumped over a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Hopped right over the top of it.
Is this in the Churchill book that I got for Christmas?
No. That's in
I don't
our
know which one.
minds.
The first one in his youth, he was quite dashing. And the tales of Churchill read better than any novel I've ever read.
Yeah,
and he claims that it all happened.
He made me more badass than anybody ever. He got kicked out of his prep school for beating the shit out of every single student there.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That is 100% true. We went by it on a boat.
Yep.
Yeah,
Continue,
he
Sam.
got in a lot of fights. He didn't beat up every
He
single
beat up
student.
Every single fucking one of them. And then he banged all the ladies when he was 12. Including
then he went
his
to
teachers.
World War I, and he actually conquered Egypt by himself.
Yep. Totally happened.
It happened.
Continue.
Write it down. He already did. Although time is one of the main criticisms of the Biggles series, as he does his adventuring over the period of 50 years, time travel is not one of the main focuses of any of the young adult novels written about him. They remain snug in the contemporary adventure genre. How, then, did Biggles have an adventures in time? Yes, plural adventures, according to the title. Having seen the film, I would think singular would be more adequate, but I will play by their rules on this one. Though the financing was originally set up through a subsidiary of Hammer in 1979, the film experienced a great deal of setbacks, which delayed production and release.
What the hell's Hammer?
Remember Hammer films?
No, I don't.
All those fucking silly horror movies? We just watched that
Like
Mummy
what?
shit was a Hammer film. We watched
Mummy
that.
shit.
Yeah, remember the Curse of the Mummy we watched with Chris last time he was...
Oh, yeah, old school stuff.
Yeah, Hammer films.
Like
England had
the knockoff to the Universal monsters.
Peter
and stuff.
Cushing's in like half of them.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So yeah, this is financed originally through a subsidiary of Hammer in 1979, which is when Hammer is really starting to fade away. Which, did you know that Hammer is back? They never went under. They just went under like a 20-year hiatus.
Dun, can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun.
Not that
Hammer?
one.
Mm.
No. They made the black...
You know
the
why
one in
he's
black.
not back? Because he never fucking left, brother.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay.
Either way, the
All
movies that Hammer's making, most notably, were a remake of Let the Right One In, called Let Me In, and The Woman in Black duology, which, bad.
Yeah.
But those are technically Hammer films. So it's
Interesting.
the same companies out back and doing it again. And yes, they're just as bad as they used to be.
What about Tell Me, Have You Seen Her?
Have you seen her?
Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen... Come on, dude. Hammer's sweet.
If she's out buying dove, tell her I'm in love. Have you seen her?
Have you seen her? Go ahead, Sam. Sorry, we're ruining this show for you.
Yeah, not really. There's a lot to talk about, though. If it would have been released on schedule, it may have come out before Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it was sort of in the same cast. However, it wasn't, and so it would become a conceptual clone of Raiders of the Lost Ark for a while, which still allowed it to be mostly faithful to the subject material, but then Zemeckis changed the game. Yes, that's right. Someone at a decision-making capacity mandated that it needed to be more like Back to the Future.
Mm.
And meanwhile, you know, it's not like Indiana's still doing good in the box office,
Yeah.
but somebody saw back like, no, nobody's going to like it if it's not like Back to the
That's
Future.
it. We need that.
It's so strange, the thinking of some of these people that have these decisions to be made that are like,
Men in Ties?
well, the person who sees a movie do well and go, if every movie isn't that, they'll all fail. Well, anyway, they added a time-traveling subplot. And a wisecracking American. That's where Alex Hyde White comes in. He's basically the Michael J. Fox character.
Hell yeah. Alex Hyde White from Fantastic Four fame.
What came out of the blender isn't really Biggles anymore, while at the same time, it doesn't completely abandon Biggles because the character is still in this movie that's not about any of his adventures anymore. I have loved this movie since childhood, and I've always wondered how they came up with the idea. Frankly, even a 10-year-old looks at the scenario of time twins fighting the Nazis a bit dubious. You're like, what is time twins? What are those? That is something that doesn't make sense.
Do they touch fingers and then, like, form into things? Like,
No,
form
they don't.
of
It
a
does-
clock.
Yeah, no.
Form
However,
of a watch.
what's weird is if somebody would have asked me before I read about this a couple months ago, because I read about this first a couple months ago when I started trying to find if there was a copy of it that was sort of affordable. If you would have asked me, is there a movie that was a cross between Indiana Jones and Back to the Future, I would have been like, yeah, Biggles' Adventure in Time. But no one would ever ask that because it's something that no one would want. And until I read that that's what happened, I was like, oh, this just never really made sense. What the hell happened here? But that's exactly what happened. And apparently the Pet Shop Boys liked this immediately after release because they hired Neil Dixon, the character that plays Biggles, to come in and just be Biggles in their movie. It couldn't happen here. Director John Yu made a slew of films, but his greatest successes started in 1975 with Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Oh, I love that movie.
Ended in
Starring,
1986
Henry
with this
Fonda
film.
and some other lady.
Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda. Oh, Henry Fonda's the good one.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. And though his heyday ended with this film, he continued to work. However, his subsequent film after this was Howling 4. And then it just got worse.
The Marsupials?
Is that the one?
I think so. I guarantee I've seen it. Love it.
Before the aforementioned, he did Watcher in the Woods, The Incubus, and both Witch Mountain movies.
I've seen Watcher in the Woods as well.
I like Watcher in the Woods. He also directed Treasure Island that Orson Welles was the star of.
Oh, no. That's a bad movie.
That's a bad movie.
Oh, I thought that was a Razzie nominee.
That was a Hammer film.
Oh, boy.
Beyond the usual Grand Moff Tarkin jokes, Peter Cushing has not been on the program. Which is odd because he stars in about half of the Hammer films, most usually as Baron Frankenstein, Sherlock Holmes, or Dr. Van Helsing. Did you know that he was also Doctor Who for the 2 theatric
I did.
movies of
Yeah.
Doctor Who?
I've seen those. They're not bad. He's also in a feature episode, and I will name it. It's the Mystery of Monster Island, written by one H.G. Wells.
Okay.
It was the first bad movie I've ever seen in my life, and my mom watched me see it, and it was like, how can you watch this crap? And I'm like, this shit is amazing.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Shut up, lady. I'm trying to watch this crap. I don't know if I would describe a youthful Cushing as dashing, but he did have a more solid constitution, say. The vision of him as the painfully thin man that we know most started probably in 1971 when his wife died. I didn't know anything about this.
Okay.
So when Peter Cushing's wife died, he just became so despondent that he quit eating. He aged 10 years in 3 months.
Yeah, he's quite sullen.
He's emaciated.
He looks like one of the ghouls from Fallout 4.
Yeah. He never recovered from it. He just quit eating, and eventually it took 14 years, but he would pass 14 years later in 1985, this being his final performance.
And gave some of his finest roles during that time.
You better hope I never die.
Well, I guess I would probably get rich. I'd be sad, but rich as shit. And the masses would adore me because I'd be...
Because you're Grand Moff Tarkin.
I would be blowing up planets and shit.
you like right before you explode, someone turns and goes,
but terribly unhappy.
Yeah. And then your assistant's like, do you have any more gum on your chest? Gum. Because it's got gum on your chest. They had gum on their chest.
Yeah, they did.
And the Rebel Alliance has lozenges.
Yeah, they do.
Neil Dixon plays Biggles. This is pretty much the biggest lead he ever had. He still works on movies, TV, and video games. He was in Skyrim. Oh.
Hey.
I didn't play that.
Also another Bethesda game.
Alex Hyde White is back after wowing us in the Fantastic Four. To add what I said last time, because it was only a few months ago, or it was only about 5 episodes ago?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Something like that. So I'm not going to go off on him, but he just did a picture which is billed as a fantasy documentary that's sort of like a half documentary, half dramatization of what it's like to put on Hamlet in 3 days. It's called 3 Days. If you like the process of acting and production, you should check it out. It's pretty good.
I actually would like to go to that.
Yeah. The soundtrack is heavy with the work of Yes frontman John Anderson. It also features The Crew, Deep Purple, and John Deacon in his only non-Queen recording.
Huh.
Do you want to be a hero? Hero! That's John Anderson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't
He wrote that song. That's the theme song of this movie.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for the stunts and practical effects. They built a rig where they could safely crash a plane with someone inside it.
Oh my fucking shit!
Yeah, we'll talk more about the sort of...
Oh boy!
Because I will say
churching
right
this
now,
shit up, man.
No,
Because
I'm going to say right now,
the greatest stunt I've ever seen is a man jumping from a plane onto a horse.
They do something very close.
Oh boy!
It isn't as visually impactful. I'll give you that right now.
Right.
The Phantom is more of a wow moment. But they do something, and we'll talk about it afterwards, that when you think about the conception of it, you're like, holy shit, that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, they when I will say right now, this is not I don't think this is a bad movie. It's just, it has no audience other than a 10-year-old kid that is like, holy shit, this is awesome. But the people that directed it, like John Hugh and the makers of the film that got a hold of the terrible script, they did what they could.
Yep.
And some of it's real fine work.
All right. Well, we'll check it out. It's currently streaming on YouTube. Make sure you get it now before somebody says, hey, that's my movie. Otherwise, you're going to have to rent it on iTunes. So come back to us on Monday. In the meantime, Jackie.
Get to that chopper.
Nice. Thank you for listening to Stinker Madness. If this is your first time, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll come back to listen more. But now, we'd like to ask all of our listeners for a small favor. We aren't ranking as high as we'd like, and we need your help. Would you please take just a couple of minutes to rate and review us on your preferred listening platform, be it iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever else you can. It takes many hours each week to bring you this show, and just a couple seconds of your time is a huge help for us. And for those of you that have already done this, we say thank you.